Hey Danny, good morning. How are
Hey,
you?
good morning.
Yeah, nice to talk to you. So much to go through. Such a big part of the season. Can I start off with your game, Full Tilt Boogie for sure. Uh, at the Tribal Council, there was a lot of talk about coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Do you feel like that coming out of the game, you have any coulda, shoulda, woulda?
No, I don't live like that. I pulled triggers. I played aggressively. I had blast. And like on to the next journey. Like that's where I look at it. And coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, I think that's a game for losers. What I mean by that is that to move forward is like is the beautiful part. Like the fact of going in and like I love to give credit to like this is the same thing like the pre-merge people is like you went out, you took a shot, whether you were voted out first or after the merge, or let's say you get to the final three. It's like you're someone who takes on adventures, takes on journeys. And the fact that the reason, and Jeff talks about this a lot, it's like the reason why it's exciting is because you're probably not going to win and you're still
Hmm.
taking the shot.
Hmm.
So, nah, I have absolutely no regrets. I think that's a not a good philosophy to look at it that way.
So there were definitely a lot of surprises at that tribal council that we saw last night, from Carolyn's idol to, ultimately the outcome of the vote for you. But how big of a blindside was it that Lauren and Jamie didn't stick with you and Heidi?
Um, yeah, I was surprised. We'll see. There's so many levels to Survivor, and it's so easy to be like, "Well, you should have done this," and it's like,
Hmm.
"I did." Like you don't like. There's so many levels of like people going in and out and the relationships people have. Um, so at the time, yeah, I was really surprised. Like yeah, like and you don't really know until you talk to people like what we were looking to get here, and then uh things make more sense.
So you said that you didn't think it was believable that Heidi would have voted against you at the previous vote. Now, what would have changed for you if you would have believed what Jam Jam and Carson had said?
Nothing. Oh yeah, no, no, I didn't care. Like he told me go up to Heidi, and I said, "Hey, we get back on the same page now." To me, it's like that didn't work.
Hmm.
At the time when I said that to Heidi, I did believe she voted for me, and then she convinced me because I guess I feel as though I conveyed to her that like you can tell me I genuinely have no connectivity, and I don't, and I never did towards people voting for Last Tribal. Like I wanted a malleable game of fluidity, meaning
Yeah.
like I will vote. I mean, look at what I did with Franny. Like I went from one where I'm like, whoa, gotta save Franny, and then two tribals later, I'm like, Franny's gotta go. And it was never any kind of like uh, connectivity. It was like it's never personal, it's strictly business. And it's like, what's going to propel my game forward? So Heidi at the time thought her game would get propelled forward by voting on me for some reason. I didn't see the logic. That's why I had such a difficult time believing it because I'm like, I know this person is incredibly logical. This is not a a move that makes sense to me at the time. Um, Now, that being said, very easily, you know how Survivor comes, things blow like you're a bag in the wind. It very easily could have been me going home. And then Heidi's a genius.
Hmm.
So, and taking out, somebody who is number one, but like is also, somebody who makes a lot of waves and does that. So at the time, it didn't make sense to me, but uh, it could have very easily made sense to me if I went home. So it's that
Yeah.
simple.
Okay, so when you had said to Heidi about how, we don't need your vote at this tribal council, was there a misunderstanding between the two of you?
Yeah, from watching her face, how I came across was not how I wanted to come across. And that was definitely a flawed gameplay on my and just flawed communication.
Hmm.
Because my goal there, and obviously I'm rushing, like people could be coming over, so I'm kind of like
Sure.
getting my words out quickly. Is that I wanted Heidi, my impression was I was empowering Heidi. Carson, Jam do not want me to tell you this. They say we don't need your numbers. You're my number one, so I'm going to tell you anyway. They told me that like basically that you've communicated that you're willing to go against me. But I'm like, I'm gonna keep Heidi close and make sure she knows, like, keep this relationship like solid. I don't want to like blindside Heidi. And also, I was telling her that for this, we don't need your numbers. You could throw a vote on whoever you want, in like and maybe kind of hide a vote, use it. You can. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you vote on Franny, because I'm not telling you. I'm not being a tyrant and being like, you're voting on Franny. I say, hey, we don't need your vote. So you can actually throw it on whoever you want, maybe, and basically play your own strategic game. Utilize that as a tool that you know where the vote's going, but you don't need to be a part of that vote. Therefore, you can manipulate your circumstance as you will. That was my plan for it, but that was a rush because I'm like, hey, people coming around the corner. So that was my plan. It definitely came across, through no fault of Heidi, it definitely came across like me being like, listen, this is what's happening. You don't, we don't even need your vote, which, learning experience.
for sure. Survivor's a big learning experience. Can you go back to also from last week about Jamie? Nobody believed her that she came through, that she had the story. Yeah, you said it's not even a good story, but ultimately it seemed like that had just was water under the bridge this week. Was there any sort of resolution from that, from when she originally told the story?
Yeah, I don't know if I can say it.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll keep going. So
okay, I'll be vague.
Okay.
I said something in tribal that if her story wasn't real, then it would have come to fruition. So after that,
I appreciate that. Right. Can you talk about your relationship with Carolyn? Because going back from when you went on the journey together and had the lunch, it seemed like that Carolyn was not the biggest fan of yours moving forward. Was that clear to you when you were out there, or did you have a better relationship than we saw?
I think yes and yes. Both are true. I knew I wasn't her cup of tea. Carolyn's super nice, so she doesn't have it in her to be mean to anybody. So I knew I wasn't like, she wasn't like the biggest fan of me, but I didn't know how much she was like connected towards me wanting me to go home through not being a fan of me. Also, like, me and Carolyn were like the hyperactive wood getters. So like, as much as I was like, if we did bond on anything, it'd be that. We're kind of like, I would say, the only people that actually cared about the fire in any way, shape, or form. And even in our passion for the fire, we clashed a little bit about our approach towards the fire. But no, I didn't know the extent at which she was gunning for me. But I did know that she wasn't my biggest fan.
So going back to that initial meetup with Carolyn, you and Brandon hit it off, and it was seemingly like an alliance was born. Hey, we're going to watch each other. People like us have a hard time winning the game. But ultimately, we didn't really see that come to fruition when you got to the merge. Was that all just talk, or was there more to what we didn't see when you and him did meet up?
Both. I knew that going in there, that I wanted to make either an alliance or a facade of an alliance. And then I was going to play it out from there. I always wanted a game of malleability and fluidity, that I never wanted to be attached to any particularly, like, this is my guy, so I'm going to go forward with. So yeah, we definitely connected, like, from a friendship. Like, he's from Philly, I'm from the Bronx, like, and I just think he's an incredible human being. And then when it comes to, like, Carolyn came and she had a tactic, like, she had a plan to manipulate Brandon and I, and like, into believing that she's emotionally fragile and going home that night and Brandon went, gave her a pep talk. I can't really talk for myself. Like, obviously, I'm a fan of myself, so I'm going to be biased when it comes to like how things are perceived. So I won't talk for me. I'll talk of this. I'm watching Brandon. I know him, very well now. He's not someone who's going to be rude to anybody. Maybe I am, but
Okay.
So I was surprised. I feel like if anything, like they didn't give Brandon a really good shot there.
But did you and him really ever talk about post merge about, hey, like let's do this, like we could be each other's shields?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it, and he had so much power, and was so amazing at reading people and counting votes and figuring out where that actual idol is. He knew every single idol play, and like obviously you can't show every single conversation everybody had. He spoke to everybody. Everybody loved him. He's a challenge beast. He knew that Matt. He knew that Matt lost his vote, and that's when I knew this guy is freakishly smart. Like, so you look at this guy who's this NFL player, and now he also goes, yo, and Matt lied to me. Matt did not vote for Josh going home. So that made him distrust Matt. And when he told me that, I remember being like scared, like being like, this dude is playing this game, and he's like a tactician. Like, that's a lot going on. What is there, 12 people at the time, or 11 people? Yeah. And he knew every vote. He goes, so this is how I know Matt lost his vote. He goes, this person voted this. This person voted this. This person voted this. So I'm like, holy shit! That's when in my mind I'm like, there's a heat shield is one thing, but somebody who is running this game is another. So let's go for him.
Yeah. Could you also then just give us the backstory on De Niro face and the idea to do that at tribal council when you if and when you got voted out of the game?
The De Niro face is something I really love doing. I thought, if Jeff is going to snuff my torch, I wanted to do it doing something I love, and I love me some De Niro face.
This was a big week for Robert De Niro. It got announced that he's having baby number 7.
Yo. How does the universe work, man? I love it, and congratulations,
Full Tilt Boogie.
And you know what? Full Tilt Boogie, baby, still going 80 years old. I hope I'm still.
Which De Niro role best encapsulated your game, Danny?
Which De Niro role? I would say De Niro in Goodfellas.
Okay.
Yeah, very like I was all business. I did not bring emotionality or into my gameplay. Maybe that's a flaw. Maybe it's something I should work on. But totally separated. Like nothing was personal, strictly business. Like and as much as you could use emotionality. To me, I think I enjoyed the game a lot more than I would have if I was connected, like, worried about, like, I can't believe Heidi did this to me. She voted on me, as opposed to like, I guess she thought it was good for her game at the time. But I'm still going to hear lovely stories about her, about her, her 2 girls and husband, which allowed me to really like get to kind of connect with people. Cause like, even like look at me and Lauren, like, I'll tell you, like, a lot of it didn't get aired because it's just not gameplay, but like me and Lauren would always BS, or like our boys, who I'm actually one of their favorite players. So
cool. Well, Danny, thank you for making some time to talk about everything, and all the best outside the game. Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right. Take care.